So let's say the board has decided that you want to raise £1 million. How much equity should you give away, or do you need to give away in order to raise that money? The process is logical, but it's not intuitive to those people that haven't done it before. Firstly, £1 million in the business isn't the same as raising £1 million. To get £1 million, you're going to have to pay some fees to lawyers to draw up agreements. There may be somebody who's charged fees to raise those funds. There may be people who are creating documents to get those funds. There may be accountants' reports on the business before people invest in it. Make sure you've got a budget for those figures. Add that onto the amount that you need in the company. Otherwise, as soon as you raise £1 million, you may end up paying out £100,000 to the advisors and professionals who helped you get it, and you haven't got £1 million in the business, you've only got 900,000, so you're starting behind the line. So never lose sight of that. Make sure it's put in there, everybody understands it, and everybody's happy to take account of it. And you can't recover the VAT on that either. It's just the law. When it's capital rather than revenue, the VAT isn't recoverable, so don't lose sight of that fact either. Once you know the amount that you require, you can start to do the basic calculations. I'll stick with the example of £1 million to keep the numbers simple. You need £1 million in total. You need to know how much the investor wants to get back if the investment is successful in, let's say, 3 years' time. The investors making that amount of investment in a trading business that's been around for a while will be looking to make a return of around 30% per annum. So over 3 years, with compounding, that's roughly doubling their money. That means that in 3 years' time, the investor's £1 million needs to be worth £2 million. And ideally at that stage, there will be a flotation of the business or a sale to somebody and they will get their money back. So the investor needs to be able to sell their shares for £2 million. What percentage of the business is £2 million worth when the business is going to be sold? Well, again, keeping the numbers simple, let's say that the business can show that it's going to be worth £10 million in 3 years' time. That means simply that the investor's stake must be 20% of the business. So today, you're going to need to sell them 20% of the share capital in the business. And finally, please make sure that whatever happens, when the investment is made, you're better off as a result of it. If in this example, where the business was going to be sold for £10 million and the outside investors take 20% or £2 million, you need to satisfy yourself of this, that without that investment, the business is worth less than £8 million, the amount that you'll get, the 80% of the £10 million. If it's going to be worth more than £8 million without the investment, you don't need the investment, so don't get it.